Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Jim Fitzpatrick, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. You're watching another edition of The Small Business Show, exclusive right here at ASBN.com. Are traditional banks keeping up with your needs? It's National Small Business Week, a perfect time to talk about what small business owners really want and need from their financial partners. Joining us once again is Ben Cash, small business expert and senior product manager at Q2 Holdings. So thank you so much, Ben, for joining me on the show once again. Your name is Cash. We're going to be talking about small business financing, so you're just the guy to call in, right? I love it. So thanks for spending some time with us here. What are some of the biggest pain points that you hear from small businesses when it comes to managing their finances, especially during these times?
Yeah, I mean, I think for small businesses, the rapid increase of technology has kind of hit them full on, especially in the modern 2025. So as you think what that really represents for small businesses is money is moving faster than ever. So small businesses are trying to be on the profit producing side of that money movement. Mm-hmm. And so some of the challenges that they're facing is just their cash position in real time and how they leverage that cash position and how do they understand money moving into their bank account, whether that's through accounts receivables, money moving out through the form of payments to pay off, vendors and kind of manage their business. Right. And then what sort of cash position do they need to leverage to get access to the right financing to grow their business in the future? And what does that projection actually look like? Right. So those are some of the challenges, both technology, but also from a cash point of view that they're facing today.
Sure. And it's no secret that banks these days are not real friendly to small businesses. You go in as a small business owner, as I have many times in my entrepreneurial journey, and right off the bat, the bank's like, nope, you don't have enough collateral. You haven't been in business long enough. Your gross receipts, maybe you're running the business in terms of your taxes on a loss versus a profit. So it almost looks like they look for 15 different ways to turn the small business owner down on financing. And financing is really the oxygen that business needs, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think in a lot of ways, if you think about the small business segment, different reports kind of show different numbers, but roughly there's 19 million plus small businesses in the US, depending on how you cut it. That's a huge amount of our economy that drives it. So then for the financial institutions, they're trying to also manage that large portfolio. Yeah. And historically, a lot of these, financial institutions in many ways, they've used traditional banking tools and they've mostly had either consumers or large corporations in mind. Mm-hmm. And so small businesses kind of fall in that interesting middle where they're thinking about both the size of the segment and then how do they actually build relationships towards that segment. And I think in this new digital world, they're actually reshaping what that sometimes means, both from a data point of view of we now have better data around the small businesses than we ever had before. Yeah. So how do institutions start to leverage that to build, things like personalization, but get them access to the right financing? How do they understand the lifetime value of that customer? But also, how do they scale that segment in such a way where they can start to do self-service type capabilities through the digital channels? So I think you're also not only seeing from a cost efficiency from the financial institution, how they're leveraging some of that, but there's also preferences among small businesses is they'd rather just kind of do it themselves and do that self-service. So you're seeing a lot of convergence around this digital world, but also access to data to leverage some of these financing pieces that have often been overlooked in this segment in the past.
Having said that, what kinds of features should small business owners be asking for from their banks right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, if you think about in today's market, small businesses want tools that are digital first. Yeah. So that means they want tools that are fast, efficient. They want tools that are personalized, integrated into their daily operations. They basically want to manage their business inside, digital online banking. And they often expect the same ease and simplicity they might get from their consumer apps because they're consumer-like in behaviors. Right. But that also needs to be paired with, the functionality needed to kind of grow their business. Mm-hmm. So I think it starts with thinking about the digital banking relationship more of an ecosystem rather than a platform. And what I mean is financial institutions can partner with, digital banking providers like us at Q2 to help embed the right kind of third-party tools into their digital banking application. through APIs and SDKs and partner integrations, which enable access to capabilities like invoicing or accounts receivable, because that's top of mind for a small business owner. They want to get paid. Or other things like cash flow forecasting inside their banking relationship, to really give them a full 360 view of their cash position directly inside their digital banking provider. And we're seeing a lot of success of the banks and credit unions who work with partners within this ecosystem to bridge these tools together and drive that digital banking experience without the business owner having to manage multiple platforms, because they're trying to manage their business. They're not a banker. They don't have the office of CFO. They're trying to grow their business. They just need these digital tools at their fingertips.
Is Q2 Holdings got an element of lending to it?
Yeah, so the way, historically, Q2 is a digital banking provider. So where we sit historically is around this idea of, authentication, security, a platform that allows you to see, that integrates with the banking's, the credit union, and the bank's core platform to integrate some of this data into their cash position around their account views, their management, their entitlements, things like that. And then where we also start to kind of operate is the ability to decision certain elements of the full relationship for the small business by partnering within this ecosystem. So lending is a big piece of that. And really the lending piece that Q2 plays a strong position in is the data to leverage some of the decision points to empower both the financial institution of qualifying this sort of business in terms of, what's their cash position, what's their money management profile, but also opening the ecosystem into different lending opportunities without taking away from historically where the financial institution is the lending provider. So it's more wrapping the digital layer around the decisioning tools to decision the lending opportunity, where the bank historically provides that relationship depth.
Gotcha. Are there any trends you think small businesses should keep an eye on this year?
Yeah, I think with AI, right, with the rise in things like artificial intelligence, I think small businesses are rethinking what that looks like in their day-to-day managing their business. They no longer have to unless they're like a retail or mom and pop shop, kind of that functionality, you might have to have physical manual folks within those businesses. But in some of these more efficient pieces, how do you wrap this digital layer around their day-to-day task to free them up to do what they do best, which is managing their business and growing their business? And so that's a huge trend amongst as we prepare, what does that look like for both the banking institution and the bankers at the financial institution, as well as the small business owner. In addition to that, I think data just being more accessible into this idea of this open banking concept and leveraging some of those endpoints to kind of drive deeper relationships around the data. How do you leverage that to do a full cash flow forecasting for businesses? Because largely historically, businesses, small businesses specifically, they don't have a high success rate.
Right.
So part of that is they need better tools to actually manage their business, and then surface those data elements back to the financial institution, so that the financial institution understands ways that they can service and finance that business. And so that's a huge trend that you see going on, is the ability to integrate both their accounting books of ledger with their digital banking provider, bring those worlds together, and actually position the business to understand and forecast their cash flow, but also position the financial institution to give access to the capital so once the business becomes more successful, the financial institution also becomes more successful as part of that relationship.
Yeah, so it's a true partnership.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Ben Cash, small business expert and senior product manager at Q2 Holdings. Check these guys out online. They're helping small businesses every day, and maybe you are one of those businesses that is looking for some help in this area. So Ben, thank you so much for joining us on the show once again. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Jim Fitzpatrick, exclusively on ASBN.com.